This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 1 through 3. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to the elect that scattered across the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing this truth in sincerity and meekness without wavering, as well as risking their life and freedom to do so. This is your brother ICR from the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson. And Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. Okay, and we're going to hop right into it. This article I have pulled up, as you see, this is from March 17, 2026, from the New York Post. It says, former Air Force missile officer claims UFOs disabled nuclear arsenal at Montana base during the Cold War, right? So UFOs are mentioned in the Holy Scriptures, man. Okay, they've been around since before the earth was created. Okay, so before everything was created. They have been around. There's been many sightings, okay, and interactions that the Israelites and these heathens have had with the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, and these so-called UFOs, okay, which they're not unidentified flying objects or UAPs, okay, whatever, I forgot what that stands for, unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? These things are going to present themselves and make themselves visible here in these last days. And as you see, they've been visiting, okay, the United States of America, okay, specifically, I'm not even going to say the United States of America, but they've been visiting the Western Hemisphere, North America, okay, since before it was turned into the United States of America. They have been visiting this place, okay, since 1619, man. Look up a map of UFO sightings since the 1600s. Okay, all of the UFO sightings have been here in the North America, which is Babylon the Great. And that's why when you read Isaiah 13 chapter, specifically the third verse, he said, I have commanded my sanctified ones, which is talking about the elect, the prophets, the 144,000 men who have this gospel, who know who understand the whole Bible. Okay, he said, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Now the mighty ones is talking about what? The so-called UFOs, man. Okay, the UFOs are mentioned in the scriptures. The UFOs are a real thing, and they're not carrying so-called green men with big eyes and big heads, man. They're carrying so-called black men with afros and beards, man. Strong, mighty men. Okay, you can look up, plenty of testimonies of, these people who had interactions with these, with chariots. They seen, they said they were like dark as Michael Jordan, okay, and tall and muscular, indestructible, like 0% body fat, okay, showing you that who's on the chariots, man. It's the Israelites, man. Okay, specifically the angels of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, which are our brothers, man. Okay, they're gonna be the ones to come back and pelt this place with the beams, man. It talks about that, and I believe it's Habakkuk 3. All right, we're gonna get that. All right, because this technology that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai has, okay, it's like no other. Okay, Esau tried to say he has a chariot in his possession, the so-called UFO in his possession, which is complete bullshit. Okay, and these chariots, look up how they maneuver. They can stop on a dime. They can go underwater. They can go up, down, left, right. Okay. Meanwhile, Esau's technology, his aircrafts, it takes miles for them to make a turn, man. Okay? And these so-called UFOs, the Chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they're able to disable, okay, Esau's technology. Okay? Showing you that this technology that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has, it's like no other. Okay? But this is the book of Habakkuk 3 and 4, and his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. What's that talking about? It's talking about the so-called UFOs, man. Right? It said he had horns coming out of his hands. That's talking about the beams that come out of the chariots, man. All right? Esau has something called a direct energy weapons. Well, that's from the chariots, man. Now, when you go into this word horn, all right, it's going to say rays of light. Okay? And what is that talking about? It's talking about a direct energy weapon where it will turn you into dust. Look up World of Worlds with Tom Cruise. Okay, when those so-called aliens came back, they were shooting beams and turning people into powder, man. All right? And that's what they're going to do in these last days, man. All right, so let's get right into it. It says a retired U.S. Air Force launch officer claims UFOs disabled multiple nuclear missiles when they appeared around the Montana base where he was stationed decades ago. Robert Salas, all right, claims a mysterious force paralyzed the military's ability to control 10 Minuteman I intercontinental ballistic missiles equipped with nuclear warheads at Malmstrom Air Force Base in 1967. The 85-year-old veteran said on the Danny Jones podcast Saturday. So Esau has had this technology for a while. And notice these heathens are coming up on they're grasping the same technology as well. He doesn't like that, showing that these missiles are okay. They're going to be shot off, man. I remember I first started coming around, when I first came to the truth, when I started coming around like-minded brothers. The brother Yaquam, he mentioned, he was camping. We was camping, and I was on the other side at the time, learning. And these two idiots came up, and he pretty much said, "You think they making these missiles for nothing, right? You think they gonna sit them in a museum, okay, and they're not gonna be used? No, these missiles are gonna be used, man. All right, and the only way up, and the only way to be delivered from these missiles is the chariots, man. Okay, and I'm gonna get that too. All right." Because people like to believe, oh man, it's just the end of the world. Nobody's coming to save us. YOLO. You might as well, live it up to your best ability. We all gonna die, man. The world is gonna end. No, man. This place is gonna go up in smoke, and there's gonna be a specific amount of people that gets delivered out of this place. And that's the 144,000, okay, which are gonna be Israelite men. Then you're gonna have the 1/3, which are the believers, man. Okay, and they are gonna consist of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Seminole Native American Indian women and men, and also those that look like other heathens, man. All right, there's going to be a numerous amount of people that get delivered out of the United States of America, man, and they're going to be beamed up on chariots, man, just like Yahweh Shah left in Acts the first chapter. He went up, he ascended unto a cloud. That cloud was talking about a so-called UFO, man, and he's going to come back the same way. It tells you that in Revelation the first chapter. It says every eye shall see him, man. Okay? But before we get delivered, and while we're getting delivered, simultaneously, the chariots are going to be taking down Esau's aircrafts, okay, and the rest of these heathens as well. And they're going to also be adding fuel to the fire because it's already going to be missiles hitting this place. Okay, and the chariots are going to put the icing on the cake. All right? So it says Salas, whose job was to launch and monitor nuclear missiles if given the order during the Cold War, was at the controls underground with his partner around 10 p.m. March 24th of that year when panic guards called from above about another unidentified craft. All right. So the man guard calls down, says, "Sir, we've been seeing some strange lights in the sky, flying directly overhead." Salas said guards insisted the aircraft weren't Soviet airplanes, pointing to bizarre lights as they zipped through the sky before suddenly stopping over the underground ICBMs, man. All right, so these people were pretty much at they were deceived. They were uneased, man. They were not at ease. All right. They didn't know what the hell was going on, man. They just seen lights, moving at a fast rate, and then they stop on a dime exactly over the point or where the ICBM missiles is at. All right. But I want to grab this. This is Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua speaketh unto you, O house of Yashar Allah. All right. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Right. See, the heathen are dismayed at these things. That's why they call them UFOs and UAPs, man. We know what they are. Right. What did Elisha, or was it Elijah? He told, his understudy. He said, "There be more with us." All right, let's grab that. All right, in the book, it's also in 2 Kings, I believe. But I'll start here. Well, let's go. I know he said open his eyes. All right. Yep, this is it right here. 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. All right. So you can get the context, read the chapter, but I'm going to go straight to the point. This is verse 16. It says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Right. What is that talking about, man? Is that talking about literal chariots? Okay. Well, horses and a fire round about them? No, man. He was describing a so-called UFO, man. This is how do you say it? Parabolic. Okay. This is a dark sand, if you might say, man. Okay. So the chariots are always around. When these lights go out, when an EMP strikes, okay, you're going to see a lot of chariots in the sky, man, because you have something called light pollution, which light pollution is pretty much every building is lights is on, and all that electricity is on and shit. So you're not really be able to. That's why you can't see the stars, because there's too much lights going on in the city. If you go out to the country, you're able to see the stars, and you can even see the UFOs better, man. But in the city, it's hard seeing them. But the Lord will give you a glimpse, okay? Sometimes He'll throw you a bone, and you'll see some chariots, man. All right? That's the way. Those are the way that the elect are going to be delivered out of this place, man. All right? And I'm going to close out with that one, too. All right? I'm thinking about Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. But it says, he initially brushed off the report thinking it was a prank. But 5 minutes later, the guard called back screaming into the phone. He's yelling, he's babbling, he's frightened. After calming down, the guard told Silas his men had their weapons pointed at the aircraft hovering over the base's front gate, emitting a pulsating reddish light. Read, I think it's Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. Zechariah 5. Okay, Isaiah 66. Let's grab that. All right. The chariots, man. I love the chariots, man, because that's our army, man. Right? We don't have an army on the planet Earth, man. You don't have the black man army, the black woman army. All right, we don't have no fucking army here, man. All right, our army, our military is the angels of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, the chariots, man. All right, we're not going to be delivered. It tells you that He will not save us neither by bow nor by sword, okay, but by His word, man. All right. But this is Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua will come with fire, and with His chariots like a whirlwind, to render His anger with fury, and His rebuke with flames of fire. Right. The chariots like a whirlwind, man. Come on. What is that talking about, man? Is that talking about an actual chariot that they used to have in ancient days, just going around in a circle making a whirlwind? No, man. A chariot is a way to and fro. It's a way of transportation to and fro. The chariots are like a whirlwind. Why? Because they go around in circles, man. They rotate as they move left, right, up, down, straight forward, straight back, okay? They move around in a circle, man. That's why it says a pulsating light, because the lights rotate, okay? Some of them rotate in a circle. Meanwhile, they're still moving, right? What they say, I'm riding spinners, it don't stop. The lights, they can stop, but they didn't see them stopping, man, all right? Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh shall plead with all flesh. Plead means to judge, shapat in the Hebrew. And the slain of the Lord shall be many, right? Now, what is that? Is he talking about a literal sword? Okay, no, it's talking about the chariots, man. The beams that come out of the chariots, they're gonna be as a sword, man. Okay, meaning what? They're gonna slice off body parts and all types of shit, man. Okay? See, this is what the Lord is coming back to do to you wicked Israelites and the rest of you heathens, man. Back to the article, it says, Silas said the panic guard asked what to do next, and he told him, do whatever you have to do. Then the guard then said one of his men had just got injured before hanging up. Silas said he then went to take his partner, who was resting, when all of a sudden a loud horn sounded at the control, signaling that something was wrong with the missiles. Quote unquote, we looked at the board and sure enough, one of them went from green to red. No ability to launch. Then very quickly thereafter, bing, 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 all 10 of them went down. They all went red. See, this is the technology that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah has. Okay? He's able to turn shit off and on at his will. Okay? And Esau is going to be confounded when he thinks World War III is going to go his way. Because he completely forgets about the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. You even had the Eisenhower situation when the chariot showed up. Okay, a fleet of chariots or an armada or fleet or armada, a chariot showed up around the White House and he called the jets to scramble. And by the time the jets got there, the chariots was gone, man. See? That's who Esau is dealing with. He's dealing with an entity that that cannot be explained, man. You see, the way these chariots operate, they can't be explained, man. It's like it tells you, it's like the spirit went one way, and they led by the spirit. All right. It says they jumped up and ran through their checklist, then realized 2 launch facilities miles away were showing that someone or something may have breached the defense missile area. Silas said he immediately sent guards out to the missile silos, and when they were about a mile away, they saw the lights hovering above the launch areas. Quote unquote, they were scared to death, he said. They didn't want to go any further. They were so frightened of these things. Silas said he later heard the injured guard might have hurt his hand while clearing a jam in his rifle or cut it on a barbed wire during the encounter. He also learned guards claimed to have seen the craft in the area in the days before the encounter. Craft that could reverse direction, snap into a sharp 90-degree turns, and fly in total silence. See? The former nuclear missile officer said a Boeing-led investigation could not determine what shut down the warheads, adding that the systems were designed to prevent jamming. Right. And, Esau was possibly was trying to use those missiles. Well, it was during the Cold War, right? So the Lord shut those missiles down, man. It said they had, quote unquote, they had no idea how this signal could have been injected into each one of the missiles. The cabling system that we had was triply shielded against electromagnetic interference from the outside. Silas said he's convinced that intelligent non-human civilizations visited Earth to prevent a nuclear war, and that's exactly what it had. Intelligent non-human civilizations, and that's talking about what? It's not talking about aliens, man. It's talking about the angels of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Strong black men, okay? Woolly hair, right? Afros, woolly afros and beards, man. Okay, gods, man. Okay? And they go out and do the bidding of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Alright? So it says, it's another civilization out there that is visiting us and are concerned about us destroying this planet through nuclear war for many reasons. Probably some we don't even understand, and that's true, man. You see, the Lord is concerned about you Edomites destroying the earth, man. All right, because you're the one that's in control of the planet Earth. That's why it says in Revelation 11, it says, "I will destroy them that destroy the earth." Okay, and that's talking about you Edomites first and foremost. All right, you're gonna be destroyed when Yahweh Shem Yahushua comes back, man. Air Force investigators said Air Force investigators forced Silas and his commander to sign strict gag orders following the encounter, warning they could face prison time if they ever spoke about it. He ultimately went public decades later after reading about a similar incident in a UFO book and concluding the information had already been exposed, man. And that's pretty much it, man. You're gonna see more strange things like so-called UFOs popping up in these latter days, man. All right, but I do want to grab one more precept, and then I'm gonna close out. All right, because the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's doings are beautiful. But this is the book of not Sirach, but Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors." Talking about the elect, the teachers, man. They're the ones standing in great boldness. Okay, teaching in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, teaching that America, the United States of America, is Babylon the Great, which are to be destroyed. Okay, revealing to you who Esau, Edom is, and the rest of the heathens, man. What their goal is. Okay, warning you about World War III coming. Okay, how the elect are going to be delivered and the rest of you people are going to die here, man. All right, but the thing about that is, you Israelites, you're going to come back in the kingdom, man. All right, you're going to be back. You're going to be You're going to be righteous. You're going to be perfect. You're going to be immortal, man. You're going to have law, statutes, and commandments within you. Okay, but this is the point. Verse 2: When they see it, they shall be troubled with fear. Who? Talking about these heathens, man, and also these jakes, man. They're going to be in fear too. All right, because they're gonna be appalled. Oh man, we should have listened. I didn't know they were serious, man. I didn't know that this is the truth. They were right the whole time. You see? It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And these things, these so-called UFOs, they are so far beyond all that you people look for, man. Okay, and that's the strangeness of the elect's salvation, man. Okay, being beamed up in these chariots, man. But these bodies are not going to go on those chariots, man. We're going to be transitioned. These bodies are going to be burned here. Okay, they're going to be burned in the beam that beams up the elect. Okay, and guess what? They're going to be their spirit is going to be put in an indestructible body, man. Okay, and they're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments in their inward parts. And when they come down from the chariots, man, New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, right? Revelation 21. They're going to come down from these chariots. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to restore the earth back in righteousness, man. All right? And that's what's going to happen after the United States of America is destroyed, man. All right? So I'm going to close out. Lord willing, this is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachah Kodash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles,